Hello, bonjour everyone. This is Tuula Rampont and I am the France correspondent for International Living, coming to you today from the kitchen of our home in southeastern France. We live near the city of Toulon in the very pretty Provençal village of Ulioul. I've been living in France for the past 12 years and absolutely love it. I've picked up some tips, tricks of the trade along the way, and I hope to share one with you today if you plan on moving to France. So I'd like to talk to you today about shopping, and we're going to look at where you can get some of your favorite products from back in the States. Then we'll move on to clothing and also do-it-yourself DIY projects where you can pick up furniture if you need to outfit your home or apartment. And lastly, we'll talk a little bit about grocery shopping. We'll hit the road and we'll go to my favorite grocery store, which is about a 5-minute drive. And lastly, we will visit a outdoor farmer's market. Arguably, one of the nicest things about living in France are these very pretty markets that are at the heart of most cities, towns, and villages. So let's go ahead and get started. Got my notes with me. I'll be checking every once in a while. I'll just put out a small disclaimer that maybe my shopping tastes aren't the same as everyone's. These have just been my experiences, and if I miss anything, feel free to email me and ask any particular questions that you have. So my email right off the bat is france@internationalliving.com. So, for better or for worse, we do have Amazon here. You can, like back home, find almost anything you need on Amazon. There is a French equivalent, and it is called CD, like the letters CND, discount. Quite giving Amazon a run for its money. So French folks are either shopping online on Amazon or going over to this other website called CD Discount, which obviously delivers directly to your home. One thing to mention, I found that Amazon prices are quite the same for your standard, anything that you need to pick up, if it's from shoes to a coffee maker, quite the same prices, except for a couple items. I would say vitamins. I'm not sure why, but vitamins tend to be a bit more expensive in France. And if you have a favorite brand from the United States that you like, you can get it on Amazon, but it's going to be a bit more expensive because they're going to be importing it. You're going to get it, I do it, I pay the extra price, but if you'd like to have your discounted vitamins when you come over, that might be one of the only things that you want to bring from the United States, or if you do trips back home, I usually stock up on some of the vitamins that I like. Another thing is books. So if you like your hardcover or paperback books, the ones in English will be more expensive than you can find in a bookstore back home. Again, they'll be imported. I'm just downloading books to my Kindle every once in a while, splurge, and I'll get a hardcover or a paperback, or else I'll pack some in my suitcase when I come back from the United States. On that same vein, I would recommend bringing with you a grammar book from the United States. They definitely have, I want to say, French grammar book, not just any grammar book. Bring a French grammar book. You will need it. Get it in the United States because you're going to pick it up here. Can't order it again on Amazon. It's going to be more expensive, and in your local bookstore, the French grammar book is usually all in French. So I found it very helpful to have a couple of my favorite standard books on grammar and even exercises, French language exercises that I brought over from the States. Moving on to clothing. Clothing is not more expensive than in the United States. Some things are actually cheaper, which was quite a surprise to me because I thought coming to France it would be all very chic and very expensive. Of course, if you have some favorite French brands or Parisian boutiques that you like to favor, those will be, on the higher end. Us folks living down here in the South, we have our kind of standard stores that we like to go to. One is called Monoprix, which is about the French equivalent to Target. You also have department stores that are similar to Macy's, and those are Galeries Lafayette and Printemps. So we do a lot of our clothes shopping there. In France, there are twice yearly sales. At first it can seem a bit funny, but in the end, it makes sense for the way that France runs. They are regulated by the government. So you have sales in January for about a month, and sales starting end of June through July, which are actually on right now, and I will show you what the sales look like when we go later to the supermarket. So the sales start off with a discount of 30%, and then as the weeks go by, they progressively get to about 70%. So people do a lot of their stocking up then. I have discovered 2 websites since I've been living here, which have been extremely helpful, because of course you do need things outside of these sales periods. So there are 2 kind of online warehouse type sites. One is called Vente Privée, which means like private sales, and the other one is called Showroom Privé, like private showroom. I don't think this concept is made it over to the United States, but you can either look on the website, or I even have the app on my phone, and you can kind of see what sales are coming up. For example, I'm not touting them, but I am a big New Balance fan, and so I wait till and I wait until the New Balance sale comes, and I get alert, and usually I get a New Balance, not always the color I like, but I get New Balance sneakers for about 50% off. So you can get anything on these sites. People even book vacations, trips, Disneyland Paris, birthday gifts. You can find anything on these websites. I find my favorite clothing brands there. I get them sent to the house. You know, unfortunately, if it's not a good fit, you know, you'll need to send it back, but sending it back is normally free of charge. So those are 2 kind of lifesavers for me. Again, you can find any kind of thing that you need on there, even household goods, perfume, makeup, everything's on these 2 websites. So if you get stuck in between the sales, these are your go-to besides Amazon and CD discount. I will make a mention if there are any American clothing brands that you're really attached to, for example, like Ralph Lauren or Tommy Hilfiger, anything of that nature. They are quite expensive in France. They're quite popular. Quite expensive. They're marked up because they're imported. On the flip side, if you like any Parisian fashions or brands, labels, French stuff, there will be a lower price because you're here in France. So one last mention for fashion. I'm going to mention 2 last things, then we're going to hit the road. DIY. So huge. French love working on their houses and their apartments. Home Depot-like stores, there are 3 of them that come to mind immediately. There's one called Castorama, there's another one called Leroy Merlin, and another one called Brico Marché. Bricoler means basically do it yourself, and it's like the Bricoler Marché, so the do-it-yourself market. And these places deliver. If you need furniture, IKEA is big here. We've got one about 20-minute drive. Obviously they deliver as well. We have kind of complemented our IKEA furniture with going to a local thrift store. So there is a large local thrift store that is really just focused on furniture right down the street, and not too far from the IKEA there's an even larger one, again just doing furniture. So there are also of course antique fairs if that's your style, especially here in the south of France. Like the biggest antique village is called Ile-sur-le-Sorgue. That could be just a kind of fun weekend out. I think I covered mainly everything from those. We're gonna go ahead and hit the road. I'm gonna take you to my favorite supermarket, which is called Carrefour. And just wanna quickly mention that France has these really lovely, very big supermarket chains. There are several of them. I'll talk to you about the names. But also keep in mind there are a lot of discount supermarkets. We're gonna go to Carrefour this morning, but my other favorite supermarket is Lidl, and Lidl in France is fantastic. Excellent cheese, wine, vegetables, fruit, specialty products. This is where I buy my hard shell tacos. Comes around twice a year, and I stock up and I get a pallet and I get about 20 boxes, and it's €1.99. So keep in mind Lidl and discount places. We're gonna hit the road, we'll do the supermarket, and then after we'll do the farmer's market. So I'll see you guys in a minute. So I've started us off here in the home goods section. Have a look around. You can also buy electronics here and some DIY home improvement. That's the electronics section there in the back. I have a fidelity card with Carrefour. So I get this little scanner and I get to scan all of my groceries. And then when I get to the checkout, I just click on a button and I don't have to have anybody check my groceries again. I just pay and I get out of here fairly quickly. Here's the clothing section. We are in the third week of the sale, so that's when things get interesting because every week they do a new markdown. So we are at 70% off. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So they've marked everything for us. So just for example, if you're getting something that's $12.99 euro originally, now it's down to $3.99. So very nice time of the year here in France to go shopping for clothes. Electronics are on sale, home goods, pretty much everything you can think of is on sale during this twice yearly sale period happening in the summer and winter. All right, go a little bit further. We're gonna have pet supplies up here. There is one of the well-known French pharmacies for makeup and skincare products. They have one right here in Carrefour, which is very nice. Kind of get an idea of the size of the place. Going again to another makeup section. Go through this fairly quickly. It's such a large store. I wanted to get over to the fruits and vegetables. Another thing to mention is that when you come to a French supermarket, you need to bring your own sacks, your own bags, because you will be loading up your own groceries. That's why I prefer to do this little scanner deal, because I just have to load my groceries one time into a bag. I do a self-checkout and then I'm out of here. This section here is the organic section, okay, called Bio. In France, hope I don't disturb any people here, they're shopping. Let's go and check some of the prices. Again, that was the organic section. Getting over here to the milk and eggs. I'll show you the fruits and vegetables. I'll do a quick tour of the cheese aisle, and then I think we'll wrap up. Here, if you could check out some of the prices on the eggs, you have both types that you can purchase. You have organic eggs here. So for 6, it is $2.15. Let's go to another organic. You'll see is a bit more expensive. That was the Carrefour brand. This is a special brand, and it's $4.85 for the eggs. And let's see if we can show you a little bit of a lower price Carrefour brand for the eggs is $2.95. All right, let's pan around to the milk. Passing by the gluten-free section. Again, this is a big deal in France. When I moved here 12 years ago, there were nothing really gluten-free to speak of. There's some vitamins down there at the end. Milk, funny thing, like in most European countries, milk is not in the refrigerator. It has to do with the pasteurization process, so you can find your liter of milk here in this aisle. Let's see for a price. 1 liter here, Carrefour brand, is 89 cents. Okay, so pan around again. All right, hopefully not going too quickly, but just want to give you the size. Another thing really important to keep in mind, France, they have a cheese aisle and also a deli counter, so you can go ahead and take a ticket, and a nice monsieur or madame will help you get your cold cuts and any special cheeses that you like. There's an olive bar over here, and in the background, foreground, you can see the fruits and vegetables. Some of these really large supermarkets also have specialty food centers in the middle. If you can see here, I'll pan in a little bit, there is a little sushi bar. All right, another important thing to mention, here is the cheese aisle, which of course is very impressive in France because it takes up 2 very large full aisles. All right, we're gonna get to the end here. I wanna just take you down one more section. Oh, what I wanted to mention is twice a year they have a wine fair here, Carrefour. Very important to come and stock up on all of your French wine. Let's finish off here, not to make this video to Toulon. Just love this. This is the yogurt aisle. So French, famous for cheese, yogurt, wine, and you have a pretty amazing pick of one side yogurts and other side yogurts, goat yogurts, and yogurts made with coconut milk, and a whole section of desserts. Okay, we're gonna leave off here because it's getting a bit long here. But if we go just a little bit further afield, I'll bring you guys out here. Down in this section at the very end, you'll find your wine and beer and specialty products, a few things from Mexico, and a whole Asian food aisle. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of our local Carrefour supermarket, and next we're gonna head to an outdoor farmer's market. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed that tour of the supermarket. Now we are in the center of Toulon. It's about 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I'm going to take you on a little spin around the outdoor farmers market. This is one of the pretty squares in the historic center. I thought it was a nice touch with the olive trees, very south of France. There's a little fountain back here. A couple things to keep in mind. Toulon is a bit off the tourist radar. It's quite a working class town, one of the most important port cities, naval bases in all of France. And the market is less popular, but the prices are better. Good thing to get here early, but you don't have to worry about getting here too early, as with some of the neighbors of Toulon, for example. A couple towns over, beautiful, beautiful, extremely pretty seaside village of Sanary-sur-Mer was voted #1 market in 2018, the prettiest market in all of France. You got to get there early. Toulon, the market here is on Cours Lafayette, and it takes place every morning until about 12, about noon, except for Mondays. Other villages and towns have their own market days, where usually they have a market every single day of the week. But like Sanary-sur-Mer, Wednesday is the big market day, and the market about triples in size. That market is stunning. It's super, super pretty. That's why it won #1 in France. But you absolutely have to get there early. You want to get there, especially in the summer months, about 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. It's worth it. I'm going to take you around. We're going to look at some of the prices. Again, one of the biggest tips is it's nice to get your fruit and vegetables at the market. You'll see the prices are cheaper, especially here in Toulon. If you go over to some of the more popular areas, more touristy, especially in the south of France like Bandol, the prices are going to jump quite considerably. I love this Toulon market. People here are very friendly. There's not really any bargaining here. It's mainly fruits and vegetables. There is a section that sells lavender products. At the bottom of the market, it's all on just one long street. At the bottom of the market, there is a flower market and some clothes. So I'm going to take you to a couple fruit and vegetable stands that I saw, and we'll have a look at the prices, and I'll leave you off there. All right, we are just in front of a very pretty stand, kind of at the height of the summer fruit season. And you'll see that all of the places where the fruits and vegetables come from will be marked. So these are some kiwis for $2.80 a kilo from Italy. Some grapes here, $3.99. And melon. So I'm going to do melon either 2 for $4 or 3 for $5. Okay, you can see that. We'll pan out. Let's go on a bit of a walk here. I just want to mention people are very friendly. This gentleman here just saw me filming his stand and he came over to say hello and ask where I was from. So I thought that was very, very kind of him. Look, they're smiling. All right, we're gonna move on over. Avocados are what? American, yeah, American. Whoa, California. Well, yeah, California, huh? Cool. No, I live here. Moi, j'habite ici. Ouais, j'habite ici, pas loin. Pas loin. Oui. Bonjour, c'est gentil. Merci, au revoir.
Des beaux fruits là-bas en Amérique?
Non, meilleur ici.
Ils fournissent les amandes, les noix.
Oh oui, les amandes, oui.
Vous êtes forte là-bas.
Ah oui, amandes, oui, c'est vrai. Oui, tout à fait. Ouais.
Un Américain aussi.
Oui, voilà que oui. Non, c'est gentil. Merci beaucoup. Merci, c'est gentil, merci. So that was a nice interlude. Like I said, people are very friendly. They will talk to you. They'll talk to you in French. They'll try their English. As you saw, this is a nice little olive stand. All right, we're gonna walk on down here. Got some tapenades, famous for the south of France. And this market goes all the way down to the end, and at the end of the market is the port of Toulon. Try to give you a quick glimpse around. We will go on over to this stand. Just gonna show you the prices on the tomatoes. Tomatoes are €1.80 for kilo, okay? And some courgettes, which are zucchini for us, is $1.60. Some really pretty eggplants from Provence are $1.60 as well. So you can see these prices are lower than you might expect. This is one, as I mentioned, one of the cheaper markets in the region. So I'll leave you off in a minute. It's getting a bit long here. We had our little surprise guests, which is nice. You hear my French and my French accent. And these stands are all so pretty, one prettier than the next. And we'll just get a little glimpse of the size. Again, we are in the center of Toulon, the historic center. If we continue walking straight on, we will go down to the port. I hope you found this tour of the market to be of help when you're thinking about coming over to France for either living or retiring. I am happy to answer any questions you might have on this part of the video or about shopping in France in general. So thank you again. You can email me at france@internationalliving.com. It's Tuula Rampont, France correspondent for International Living.